let's just look at a different angle of these Edo killings and the implications of the killings on the families of the deceased. And to talk about this, we have Nana Asmau Mohammed, Esquire legal, who is an Esquire legal practitioner. Good evening, Nana.
Yes, good
Okay, good
evening.
evening. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Okay, let's dive right into this topic. You know, the whole killings that happened at Edo, where 16 um, Northerners were killed. And, you know, we know these 16 Northerners have families. How do you think this would affect the families of the deceased?
It's definitely going to be very devastating for them, as this is a very, very hurtful situation. I believe the families are grieving, and it will take them a long time to overcome this issue. But we hope and pray that it gets easy for them. A lot of things have happened, and we can't turn back the hands of time. The women have become widows and the children have become orphaned. And if they had parents they were taking care of, they have now become dependent on themselves. So it's definitely a hard time for them.
Mm. So, what do you think really are the things that contributed to the escalation of this violence from where you are? What stories have you heard about these particular killings?
Oh, we've actually heard different versions, but we believe what actually happened was that there was a misunderstanding of the true character, or will I say the true nature of the people that were traveling. The people of the Uromi village thought they were kidnappers or some kind of hoodlums and decided to take the laws into their hands, which is very wrong. That is actually what made the whole issue very, very terrible. Had it been they had reported them to the security officials, it would have been easier. But the gruesome murder was uncalled for.
Been, you know, done to the families of the deceased, maybe like a compensation to aid relieve this burden on the family because these are breadwinners of the families.
Exactly. It's not just about compensation, it goes beyond that. They need therapy because the nature of the death of their loved ones was very terrible. So I believe some of them will find it very difficult to overcome the pains of losing their loved ones in that kind of manner. So they will also require therapy, and I hope the government will help them with that. And also, a lot of them will require, oh God, like a lot of things really need to be put in place to get them back into the society to function properly, as this situation would definitely affect them mentally.
Mm. We've seen reactions from the northern elites. Do you think that this particular incident is going to spike, you know, a form of revenge from the people who are affected?
I don't think so, because we now live in a time where we have people who calm situations, who try not to get situations to escalate to very bad levels, or let's say terrible levels. I wouldn't expect them to retaliate. It would not help matters. As we all know, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So I wouldn't expect them to do that, as the government has already stepped in. We know that the governor of Edo State has already come out publicly to condemn the barbaric killings, and he has also promised to make sure that he holds to account those people who did that. So I don't expect the situation to escalate. Things will be under
You
control.
know, just to get an overview of this thing, there are so many stories that has been going on about this particular incident. Some people said that it was these Northerners that attacked first. Some people said it was just a heated argument. I don't know. What story have you heard from your own area?
We've heard some stories, but the reality is none of us was there. We weren't present, so it would be very very, very wrong of us to judge the situation since we were not eyewitnesses. But from the versions we've been hearing, we believe it was a kind of misunderstanding between both parties. And since the government has already intervened, we believe what is right will be done.
Interesting. Do you think? I mean, let's not forget the fact that this particular area of the Edo State had, had situations of herders and farmers clash. There's been a little bit of insecurity around this particular region. Do you think that there would have been a better way to resolve this thing other than, setting them ablaze and allowing them burn to death?
Of course, a better would have just been to call the security, notify them that we have people passing our village that we suspect are kidnappers or whatever they think they are, and let the law do its work. They are not supposed to take the law into their hands. That is actually what went wrong. They shouldn't have done that. It would have been better for them to call in the security officials.
So if you could actually send a message to the government and society regarding this regarding support of these families, what way do you think they would, play a role in helping relieve these families of this stress?
I would actually encourage the government to not just only pay compensation. I know compensation will go a long way in comforting those family members of the deceased, but they will also require other things such as therapy, and they will also require support to move on with their lives. As we all know that we are in very hard economic times, these family members, or rather the widows now who have the sole responsibility of taking care of these orphan children, will be overburdened with the stress of taking care of these children. So the government should also intervene in supporting the women and also maybe supporting the children in terms of education and more, just to reduce the stress for the woman. If not, it will only make matters worse. Because if the woman is stressed, meaning she's overburdened with the whole responsibility of taking care of the children, she might not be mentally strong enough to do that work that is expected of her as a mother. And in return, she will not be able to raise responsible and mentally and emotionally stable children. And in the end, what are we going to have? We are going to have socially irresponsible adults in the society who will be malfunctioning. What will happen? The society will be in disorder. So we hope that the women will be supported fully so that they can raise these children well, so that these children can in return be productive and be responsible members of the society when they grow up.
Interesting. Let's be more practical. If you were to ply the road, travel, and you have to go through Edo State, would this particular incident affect your sense of security and trust in the Edo communities?
Definitely it would, let's be honest, it would, unless if I see clearly how the government has intervened and dealt with the matter in a positive way, then that would definitely give not just me, it would give the whole nation confidence in being able to trust that place as a safe place. But if the government doesn't do anything to counter what has already happened, is definitely going to cause dissatisfaction.
Interesting. Um, has there been, do you know of any investigation that is being carried out right now um, get the perpetrators of this particular incident? Do you know to what extent these investigations are being carried out?
Honestly, no, but we hear from the media that the government has said that it is taking care of the situation and it is investigating.
So
It
apart
is
from that, no
investigating.
other updates
We
from
are
it.
not aware of any investigation at the moment.
Okay, interesting. Just to the governor of Edo State visited Kanu, to apologize to the governor of Kanu State and equally promise him that they will get to the roots of this incident. Do you think that this particular action is going to change the mindset of the people of Kanu State or the Northerners in general towards this particular incident and hold them back from, sort of retaliating as it is being rumored?
Yes, it will. But we hope it doesn't just end there because actions speak louder than words. If the government proves that it has really taken account of what has happened and has brought to book the perpetrators, then it will definitely increase the confidence of the bereaved family members and the Northerners at large. But if the government just stops at condolence, it will go, it will not go a long way. It will not go a long way. It might instigate the Northerners in retaliating, and which is not going to be good for the nation. We hope it doesn't get to that level.
It's so sad that this kind of thing still happens. And I mean, if I don't know, I'm short of words on this particular incident because I keep wondering how this whole thing escalated so quickly. I mean, they had authorities, they would have handed it over. Do you think maybe and these security personnel are not properly they're not giving proper orientation on things that should be done and things that shouldn't be done?
I don't want to particularly comment on the security agencies because, as I said, we're not eyewitnesses and we still haven't gotten concrete report on the incident. I don't want to put the blame on security agencies. Perhaps it is the perpetrators that took the laws into their hands and killed those travelers in a very gruesome manner. So we are yet to see the outcome of the report before we can judge. I think we should wait until we hear the conclusion of the investigation.
Okay, from everything that has happened, do you foresee any potential long-term psychological effects on the families of the deceased? This whole thing that has going, do you think it will have any psychological effect on them?
Of course. Psychologically, it has been will I say it has been reported that one of the most painful experiences that any human being can ever go through is the loss of a loved one, and more so in a very gruesome manner. It will definitely take them a long time before they overcome this, and we just hope it doesn't affect their behavior for a long time. And that is why I have been suggesting that the government intervenes by making sure that they get proper access to therapy, psychotherapy, so that they'll be able to overcome this psychological problem that comes up or when people are emotionally disturbed, so that they can be able to take back control of their minds and act properly. If not, things might escalate out of anger. Because in situations like this, people feel they have been treated unfairly, and it causes this trauma of injustice. And when that then happens, it triggers revenge. People are pained. They feel, oh, we don't deserve this. Why was this done to us? So if nothing is done to compensate them and to how will I say, and to calm them down, things are going to get out of hand. And we just hope it doesn't get to that level. We really need some kind of
We do
psychotherapy to
hope so
overcome this.
too. We do hope so too. Okay, let's talk about the children that are from this deceased family. These children that are going to, live with the fact that they can't see their fathers anymore. Do you think that this particular incident is going to have an impact on the ethnic war? The tribal war that we have that has been lingering in Nigeria for so long now. Do you think it's going to contribute to it?
It will not contribute to this in the sense that if the mother understands fully this is not a tribal war, this is not a tribal issue, it's a case of insecurity that is a national issue. And she gets the children to understand that it is not a personal fight or a personal war. It's just a kind of misunderstanding that took place. If the mother is able to get them to understand the situation properly, these children will grow up understanding the situation without having to hate the tribe that killed their parents. But if nothing is done to get the woman to calm herself down, to understand that things happen beyond our control, and this incident is not a tribal incident, then things will go out of hand. So that mother needs to be properly counseled. She needs therapy to calm her down so that she will be able to speak well of the things that happened. Because if she tells the wrong story, she's definitely going to instigate some retaliation in the nearest future.
I believe so too. Honestly, so has how has the government or the security agencies responded to the killings, and in order to help the family feel safe? Are there any aids provided for this family for their own safety?
I'm not aware of any aids at the moment, but I'm aware that the governor of Edo State has visited Kano to condole with the families of the deceased, which is very good. At least it will calm situation down, but then more has to be done.
Do
More
you
needs
really
to be
think
done. I
this
expect.
particular? Okay, continue.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, you said that it's a good thing that he visited. Do you think that just the mere visit from and words of mouth from the governor is going to help calm the minds of people that are affected, people that are heavy on retaliation, people that are seeking for revenge?
I believe that's a kind gesture. It was very kind of him to do that. It shows that he's compassionate, he cares, and that alone is enough to calm them down. And these people shouldn't even think of retaliation because that is not what humanity should be after. Besides, Islam condemns retaliation.
Mm. Just as you said,
It is
Islam condemns retaliation. I'm not sure. Maybe you could just put us through what's Islam says about burning people. I think there's something about it that the Islam religion is really against burning people. Could you tell us what surrounds that?
Actually, Islam is a religion that encourages obedience to law and order. So whenever situations like this happen, it is expected that if you suspect someone to be of questionable character, you're expected to report to the security agencies close to you. And if at all situations have gotten out of hand and a particular person has been murdered um, due to disorderliness, it is expected that the law should take over. People should not take the law into their hands. Let the security agencies investigate, let the case go to court, and let the court judge, and let the court make sentences and convictions based on the facts before it. We shouldn't be very quick to judge incidences just like that. Things have to be put through um, process of facts and evidence. And when things are proven, that's when the court will decide how to go about the matter. People should stop taking the law into their hands.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.